Congressman, listen, you're one of the driving forces intellectually in back of this kind of movement about what big tech's doing to this country, and is it taking it in the right direction? Yesterday was historic antitrust hearing. Give us your take on what went on between you and the Democrats in the four horsemen of the tech apocalypse that represented the tech world yesterday.
Well, I thought that the populist Republicans were going to be tough on the tech giants. You should see what the Democrats did to them. I mean, the Democrats went for the jugular against Zuckerberg and Google and Amazon and Apple. And I think that bipartisanship likely informs on the potential for us to have some progress to push back against these monopolies that control what we see, because they want to control what we think, and then ultimately they want to control how we act. You know, Steve, the frustration I have is that these companies claim to be American companies with American values, but in their behavior, it's an America last approach. Take Google. Google pulls out of Project Maven, which is a partnership with the United States military to ensure greater survivability of our fighting force. They pull out of that as a result of ethical concerns, and then they've got no problem empowering the Communist Chinese Party in partnerships with Tsinghua University, where the Chinese military is pouring in tens of millions of dollars right alongside Google. Actually, Google Talent is co-authoring papers with the Chinese Academy of Sciences that is helping the Chinese Stryker aircraft, the J-20, become more effective in targeting. So they got no problem making Chinese fighter jets more effective in targeting, but then they have ethical concerns working alongside the United States military. And it's not just that Google is working to make China stronger as they make America weaker. Too many of their policies are making America more like China with the censorship and with the control of the flow of information. Now, back in December, Sundar Pichai came to the Judiciary Committee, and he said that there was not a mechanism by which people could individually manipulate search. But now that we've seen these memos and videos come out, he had to admit that his employees have the ability to blacklist news sites, to blacklist search results, and impact what people see. And it's no coincidence then that you see websites like the Gateway Pundit, the Spectator, Daily Caller negatively treated on Google and not getting the same reach as some of these left-wing blogs for billionaires that masquerade as news organizations. And so I think that highlighting that hypocrisy with China is a very important lens for us to evaluate the big tech debate.
You know, I want to just interject one thing here about Google cooperating with the J-20. The J-20 is basically a copy of the American F-22, all right?
Exactly.
So they stole our technology, developed an aircraft using that technology, and then Google cooperated with them to polish out all the kinks.
Yes.
This is outrageous.
And it was actually Raheem Kassam's reporting at the National Pulse that guided some of my questions, because he's able to actually track the human talent that Google goes and curates and develops and then sends to China to do joint ventures at these universities that have this extensive Chinese military presence. It's no coincidence that General Dunford, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said that Google is directly helping the Chinese military. That should concern us as Americans, especially when they don't want to help our military because of ethical concerns. Now, why does this matter in the context of what we were discussing with Antifa and this anti-police movement? Well, thousands of Googlers have now petitioned that company to deprive digital access to members of law enforcement. So imagine being a cop trying to serve your community, trying to keep people protected who are your neighbors, and now all of a sudden you can't get Gmail. Now all of a sudden you can't get access to basic digital services. Is this the future of the new woke-topia, where the people who are patriotic and want to actually defend us and help us are blacklisted, shamed, shadow banned?